Top 7 Best Omega Watches in 2022. Through extensive research and testing, I have put together the list of options that will meet the need of different types of buyers. So whether it's price, performance, or particular use, we have got you covered. For more information, I have put links of products in the description. Make sure to check it out. Like the video, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get started. Number 7. Seamaster 300 Bronze Gold. Omega loves its heritage and knows you do too. Hence, the brand came up with the Seamaster 300 a few years ago. But in 2021, Omega decided to update the collection with new movements and toned-down dials. This meant less information on the dial, and a designer closer to the original Seamaster 300 models from the 1950s and 60s. Introduced in 1948, the Seamaster line is the oldest family in Omega's collection. Before that, watches had reference numbers, but there were no specific collections. After the introduction of the Seamaster, however, the Constellation followed in 1952, as well as the Speedmaster in 1957 and the DeVille in 1967. When the Speedmaster collection came to life in 1957, Omega also used that moment to introduce the Railmaster and the Seamaster 300. The Seamaster 300 was Omega's professional diver's watch, and it competed with the Rolex Submariner and Blancpain 50 Fathoms. But back to 2021. Number 6. Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon Apollo 8. This is the third and last Speedmaster on this list, I promise, but it is so good, it deserves a spot. Omega introduced its Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon watch back in 2013. It was the first Speedmaster available with a ceramic case and dial. A year later, we saw the gray side of the moon. That handsome variation made it even tougher to choose. Then, I think Omega made a little mistake. The brand released even more dark side of the moon variations, including a white side of the moon, that ruined the uniqueness of the Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon a little bit, and it took a while to regain the respect and appreciation for this collection from enthusiasts. But Omega managed to do so back in 2018 with the clever design of the Speedmaster Dark Side of the Moon Apollo 8. It's based on the same Dark Side of the Moon collection, but with a very interesting angle of the moon itself. Number 5. Speedmaster Calibre 321. This is another one on the list that barely needs any introduction, but if you are unaware, please check our video on the Calibre 321 here. Based on the famous Speedmaster 105.3 Ed White, it is the steel Speedmaster moonwatch that brings back the famous and iconic Calibre 321. The movement is also to be found in the Platinum Speedmaster Professional 42 moonwatch with onyx dial with meteorite subdials. Omega has a special workshop in Beale where they hand-build these Speedmaster watches with Calibre 321. It's quite a different approach from their industrialized watchmaking for nearly any of their other watches. Because of this traditional approach, Omega is only able to manufacture between 1,000 and 2,000 of these Calibre 321 powered watches per year. Keep in mind that Omega produces 750,000 watches per year in total. Therefore, these special Speedmasters amount to, at maximum, just 0.27% of Omega's total production. Number 4. Seamaster Plo Prof 1200M. The Plo Prof is rapidly gaining a following, despite its awkward shape and dimensions. I own the steel version, which was in production from 2009 till 2019, and it has become one of my favorite watches that I always keep close by. It took me a while to sort out whether I wanted an original Plo Prof 600 introduced in 1971 or one of the modern versions. I ended up with the latter because I wanted to be able to use it as a daily driver, take it with me on holidays, and wear it into the swimming pool. I refuse to swim in the sea or ocean. Although you might be able to find yourself a steel one at one of the boutiques or authorized dealers, the titanium models are still in Omega's catalog. The nice thing about the titanium models is that they lack a date window and have the modern master chronometer movement. The 2009 model had Omega's Calibre 8500, which didn't have the META certification. Number 3. Constellation Globemaster. Omega introduced the Globemaster in 2015. Or, more accurately, the brand reintroduced it, as the Globemaster name dates all the way back to the early 1950s. At the time, Omega had an issue exporting its Constellation watch to the USA. This had to do with the name of the watch, so Omega called it Globemaster until the naming issue was resolved. Anyway, the Constellation Globemaster was the first watch to have the Master Chronometer certification by Metas. I was there when this Constellation Globemaster made its 2015 base world debut. That's where I developed my crush for this watch, specifically the Sedna Gold model. The Pi-Pan dial is a nod to those early constellations from the 1950s and 60s, and the fluted bezel was used on the later C model constellations from the late 1960s. But the real wake-up call came when Omega sent me this Sedna Gold watch for a review. It ended up in a love letter, which you can read here. Number 2. Seamaster Diver 300M. The long-awaited update for the Seamaster Diver 300M came in 2018. I will be honest here. It took me a while to get used to the stainless steel bracelet. I have some of the old Seamaster Diver 300M models with the 9-row bracelet. At some point, I remember feeling that they were a bit outdated. Somehow, though, I started to like the old stainless steel bracelet again, and now the new bracelet feels a bit too cleaned up. What can I say? I grew up in the 1980s and 90s. Other updates were the size, from 41 to 42, a ceramic dial and bezel, and of course, an in-house developed movement. The 300M was and still is Omega's bread and butter watch, but it was also one of the watches that, in its previous iteration, still depended on an ETA-based movement modified with a coaxial escapement. This Calibre 8800 is certified as a master chronometer and visible through the case back of the watch. With a water resistance of 300 meters, there's almost no reason to take this watch off the wrist. There's a bunch of variations of the 300M in all sorts of colors and materials, including chronographs. Then, of course, there's the special titanium version for the latest Bond movie, No Time to Die. Number 1. Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch Master Chronometer. It goes without saying that if there's only room for one Omega in your collection, it should be the Moonwatch. The new Moonwatch Master Chronometer version gives you even fewer reasons not to own one. It features a new case that harkens back to the 4th generation of the Speedmaster, reference 105.12 from the 1960s. That was the one that Buzz Aldrin used on the moon. More importantly, Omega finally changed the bracelet to this new tapering design. It features small center links, a beautifully finished clasp, and it is amazingly comfortable. If you had just purchased the previous Moonwatch before January 2021, just order this bracelet separately. It will change your life as a Speedmaster owner. Inside this watch is Omega's Calibre 3861. The movement debuted in 2019 in the Apollo Roman 11 limited editions of the Speedmaster, and it also powered the Snoopy Award model from 2020. It's a movement that is based on the previous Calibre 1861, but with a coaxial escapement, anti-magnetic alloys, and a master chronometer certification by Metas. For daily use, it means that Omega now guarantees precision of 0 to 5 seconds per day on average, instead of 1 to plus 10 seconds a day with the previous Calibre. So guys, that's all for the top 7 best Omega watches in 2022. The links of all products are given in the description, which are updated for the best prices. Subscribe our channel for more videos. We will meet in next video. Till then, take care. Bye.